October 2024. The rain hammered relentlessly against the boarded windows of the long-abandoned Timber Creek lumber mill. Inside, Detective Lena Rossi's flashlight cut through the thick dust and damp air, revealing a secret that had been hidden for over 3 decades. Her breath caught as the beam landed on 2 faded denim jackets, carefully wrapped around skeletal remains. One jacket was embroidered with delicate violets, the other with daisies. Nearby, a tarnished class ring glinted faintly, its initials AR barely visible in the dim light. The radio crackled sharply. "Dispatch to Unit 7, confirm findings." Lena's voice was steady, but heavy with the weight of the moment. "Remains located. Notify the Rossi family and prepare an arrest warrant for Mayor Thomas Finch." The words hung in the air, breaking a silence that had lasted 33 years. The discovery was more than just a breakthrough. It was a shattering revelation that would shake the small town of Pinecrest to its core. For years, the disappearance of the Rossi twins had haunted the community. Amelia and Rosalie were more than just teenagers who vanished without a trace. They were the heart of Pinecrest, the golden girls whose laughter once filled the aisles of Sawyer's Hardware and whose dreams stretched far beyond the fading timber town. Their absence left a wound that never healed, a mystery that refused to fade. Now, with the discovery of their remains and the arrest of the town's mayor, the story was finally coming to a close. But the impact was far from over. Neighbors whispered in disbelief. How could the man who coached Little League, who organized vigils in their honor, be the one behind this dark secret? The mayor who had stood at the podium, promising safety and community, was now the center of a storm that threatened to tear Pinecrest apart. Detective Rossi, once a child in this town, now carried the burden of justice. Her hands trembled slightly as she held the class ring, a symbol of a life interrupted. The faces of Amelia and Rosalie flashed in her mind. 2 sisters, so full of promise, silenced too soon. This was not just a case. It was a story of loss, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Before we dive deeper into this haunting tale, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from right now? What time is it where you are? Drop your location and time in the comments below. It's incredible to think how stories like this connect us across miles and moments. Stay with me as we walk through the summer of 1991 in Pinecrest, follow the twins' last steps, and uncover the decades of pain and perseverance that led to this moment. This is a story you won't want to miss. Pinecrest, Oregon, summer of 1991. The town lay nestled in the Umpqua River Valley, a place where the scent of pine mingled with the fading hum of sawmills. Once a bustling hub for logging, Pinecrest was now a community caught between its proud past and an uncertain future. The timber industry that had shaped its identity was shrinking, and with it, the steady jobs that had kept families rooted for generations. Main Street still held on to its charm. The Chatterbox Diner served its famous Marionberry pie, and the familiar faces of neighbors greeted each other with a nod or a wave. But beneath the surface, change was stirring. The Gulf War had taken 6 young men from the town, leaving empty chairs at dinner tables and heavy hearts in homes. Methamphetamine was creeping into the backroads, casting a shadow over the once peaceful streets. Amid this backdrop lived Amelia and Rosalie Rossi, identical twins who were the pride of Pinecrest. At 19, they were the town's golden girls, valedictorian co-captains of the state champion debate team, known for their sharp minds and kind hearts. Yet, despite their similarities, they were distinct in ways that made each shine on her own. Amelia, or Mia, as she was called by friends and family, wore her chestnut hair in a practical braid. She was the steady one, calm under pressure, with dreams of becoming an environmental lawyer. Every tip she earned at Sawyer's Hardware was carefully saved in a mason jar labeled Berkeley Tuition. Mia's focus was unwavering, her determination clear in the way she carried herself. Rosalie, known as Rosie, was the free spirit. She pinned wildflower clips in her matching locks and filled composition notebooks with poetry. During breaks at the hardware store, she could often be found strumming her guitar behind the building, lost in melodies that spoke of hope and heartache. Where Mia was the planner, Rosie was the dreamer. Their bond was unbreakable, but their differences made them whole. When Sawyer's delivery truck caught fire one July evening, Mia calmly evacuated customers, while Rosie grabbed the extinguisher without hesitation. Together, they balanced each other perfectly. Pinecrest's residents knew the twins well. They were fixtures in the community, their laughter echoing through the aisles of Sawyer's Hardware, and their presence a comforting constant in a town facing change. Their parents, Marco and Diane Rossi, were pillars of strength, raising their children with love and hope despite the challenges around them. The twins' yellow clapboard house on Sycamore Lane was a place of warmth and dreams. Posters of college campuses adorned the walls, and the scent of fresh-baked bread often filled the kitchen. It was a home where futures were planned and memories made. As summer stretched on, the town prepared for its usual rhythms. Friday night cruises down Elkton Road, the buzz of the Chatterbox Diner, and the quiet moments that made Pinecrest feel like home. But beneath the surface, the currents of change were pulling at the edges of this close-knit community. Amelia and Rosalie were more than just teenagers. They were symbols of hope and resilience. Their stories intertwined with the town's, each reflecting the other's struggles and dreams. In a place where everyone knew everyone, their lives were a thread woven into the fabric of Pinecrest. This was the world they knew, the world they would soon be torn from. October 17th, 1991, began like any other autumn day in Pinecrest. The air was crisp, the sky a muted gray, hinting at the rain that would come later. Amelia and Rosalie finished their shifts at Sawyer's Hardware, clocking out at 8:30 p.m. Manager Bert Henderson waved them off with a smile, unaware that this would be the last time he saw the twins together. Security footage from the hardware store, later enhanced in 2024, captured their final moments in town. The twins walked side by side, their steps light but purposeful. They stopped briefly at Pinecrest Pharmacy, a small, familiar place where the pharmacist, Geraldine Pratt, remembered them well. Rosalie bought guitar strings, her fingers brushing over the worn packaging as she chatted quietly with Geraldine. Amelia mailed a college application, a hopeful gesture toward a future far beyond the valley. Geraldine recalled Amelia's unusual request that evening: extra-strength aspirin. She said Mayor Finch had a migraine during the town hall meeting, Geraldine noted, a detail that would later take on unexpected significance. Their walk home was a short one, just 0.8 miles past the mayor's campaign headquarters, still brightly lit at 8:45 p.m. But the twins never made it to their yellow clapboard house on Sycamore Lane. By 10 p.m., concern was growing. Marco and Diane Rossi, along with neighbors, began canvassing the streets, calling out their daughters' names into the night. Sheriff Roy Burke, a Vietnam veteran with no experience in homicide cases, initially dismissed the worry. "Teen girls skip town sometimes," he said, hoping the twins would return on their own. But when Amelia's acceptance letter to Berkeley arrived unopened on October 25th, the reality settled in like a cold fog. Something was terribly wrong. The early investigation was riddled with missteps. Mayor Finch's alibi, that he was home with his wife Eleanor, was never properly verified. A witness reported seeing a blue Ford Bronco near the campaign headquarters, but the tip was misfiled and overlooked. Rosalie's diary entry, a cryptic note about the mayor's hands lingering too long, went unnoticed in the flood of paperwork. As the days passed, the case grew colder, buried beneath other pressing matters, including a meth lab explosion that claimed 4 lives just before Christmas. The community's response was a mix of fear, confusion, and grief. Pinecrest, once a town where doors remained unlocked and neighbors trusted one another, began to fracture. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some blamed outsiders, others whispered about debts and hidden debts tied to the mayor's bank. The disappearance of Amelia and Rosalie was no longer just a family tragedy. It became a wound that cut through the heart of Pinecrest itself. If you've ever experienced or heard of a disappearance that left a community shaken, share your story in the comments below. Your voice matters, and together, we keep these stories alive. The years that followed the disappearance of Amelia and Rosalie were marked by relentless searching and unyielding hope, but also by deep sorrow and exhaustion. Marco Rossi transformed his garage into a command center, walls covered with maps, notes, and photographs. Every lead, no matter how small or unlikely, was pursued with a father's fierce determination. Diane kept the twins' rooms untouched, preserving their presence in the home as a silent reminder of what was lost. Rosalie's guitar leaned against the wall, and Amelia's debate trophies gathered dust, untouched but never forgotten. Their younger brother Nico grew up in the shadow of this tragedy. He followed private investigators, absorbing every detail, driven by a desire to find answers that had eluded the family for years. Eventually, he became a forensic technician, hoping to use science to uncover what time had hidden. Pinecrest itself was changing. The once tight-knit community began to fracture under the weight of suspicion and grief. Loggers blamed Portland hippies for the town's decline, while newcomers whispered about the Rossi family's supposed debts to Mayor Finch's bank. The hardware store where the twins had worked became a pawn shop, and the pharmacy was replaced by a vape store. The town's decay mirrored the family's pain. The emotional toll on the Rossis was immense. Marco's health declined under the strain. Diane's hope wavered but never broke, and Nico's determination grew stronger with each passing year. The family's sacrifices were countless: missed holidays, sleepless nights, and the constant ache of uncertainty. Yet, amid the darkness, there were moments of light. Community vigils, support from friends, and the occasional breakthrough in the case kept the flame of hope alive. The Rossi family's story became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the power of love and persistence in the face of unimaginable loss. How do you think communities cope when faced with tragedies that remain unresolved? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective helps us understand the strength it takes to endure. After more than 3 decades of silence, the case took a dramatic turn thanks to the determination and expertise of Nico Rossi. Having grown up surrounded by the mystery of his missing sisters, Nico channeled his grief into a career in forensic science. His deep understanding of both the family's history and cutting-edge technology positioned him uniquely to revisit the cold case with fresh eyes. In 2023, Nico began re-examining old evidence with new techniques. One of his most significant breakthroughs came from analyzing soil samples taken from the Timber Creek lumber mill. Using mineral analysis, he detected traces of a proprietary chemical used in Finch Lumber's timber preservative. This discovery suggested a direct connection between the mill and the twins' disappearance. Building on this lead, investigators employed LiDAR technology to scan the mill's grounds. The scans revealed a hidden storage locker, cleverly concealed and overlooked for decades. The locker's location was no accident. It was on property purchased by Mayor Thomas Finch just weeks after the twins vanished. Inside the locker, the faded denim jackets wrapped around the remains were found, along with the tarnished class ring bearing Amelia's initials. This evidence was the key that unlocked years of silence and suspicion. As the forensic findings came to light, so did the darker aspects of Finch's past. Records surfaced, revealing a 1982 assault allegation from a Sawyer's hardware cashier, quietly settled out of court. Financial documents showed a suspicious withdrawal of $15,000 on October 18, 1991, the day after the twins disappeared. Perhaps most haunting was Eleanor Finch's suicide note from 2010, in which she wrote, "I heard the twins scream that night." The community was stunned. The man who had been a pillar of Pinecrest, who had coached Little League and organized vigils for the missing twins, was now at the center of a chilling revelation. If you believe in the power of forensic science to bring justice and uncover truth, please like this video and share it with others. Every share helps shine a light on cases that deserve attention. The morning of the arrest was heavy with tension. News spread quickly through Pinecrest as law enforcement officers arrived at Mayor Thomas Finch's home, a man who had long been seen as the town's trusted leader. The community was stunned. How could the man who had stood at the forefront of every town event, who had been a familiar face in their lives, be taken into custody under such dark circumstances? Neighbors watched in disbelief as Finch was led away, his calm demeanor masking the storm that was about to break. For years, he had cultivated an image of dedication and care, coaching Little League teams, funding the library expansion, and organizing annual vigils for the missing twins. But beneath this public persona lay a hidden history that few had suspected. During the trial, the courtroom became a stage for painful truths. Testimonies from former Sawyer's hardware employees painted a picture of Finch's inappropriate behavior, including the unsettling detail of his lingering hands noted in Rosalie's diary. Financial records and forensic evidence linked him directly to the crime scene, while Eleanor Finch's haunting suicide note added a chilling layer to the narrative. The prosecution methodically laid out the case, connecting decades-old evidence with modern forensic breakthroughs. Witnesses spoke of the mayor's charm and influence, contrasting sharply with the dark reality revealed by the investigation. For the Rossi family, the trial was both a moment of reckoning and relief. Marco and Diane faced the courtroom with a mixture of grief and determination, their decades-long search culminating in this pursuit of justice. The town of Pinecrest grappled with the betrayal, struggling to reconcile the man they thought they knew with the truth that had come to light. As the trial drew to a close, the community was left to reflect on the meaning of justice, how it can be delayed but not denied, and how the truth, no matter how deeply buried, will eventually surface. If you believe in the importance of justice and want to see more stories like this, please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. What does justice mean to you? The arrest and conviction of Mayor Thomas Finch sent shockwaves through Pinecrest, forcing the community to confront painful truths. Streets once named in his honor were reconsidered, and historical plaques bearing his name were vandalized in acts of anger and betrayal. The town's collective soul had been shaken, but from this reckoning came a renewed commitment to healing and change. The Rossi family, despite their immense loss, chose to channel their grief into something lasting. They established Oregon's first cold case scholarship fund, dedicated to supporting students pursuing careers in forensic science and criminal justice. This fund stands as a beacon of hope, ensuring that future generations have the tools and passion to bring closure to families still waiting for answers. Diane Rossi continues to honor her daughter's memory in quiet ways, setting 2 plates at Thanksgiving, a ritual that speaks to the enduring presence of Amelia and Rosalie in the family's heart. Nico's work in forensic science carries forward their legacy, a testament to the power of persistence and love. The story of the Rossi twins is a reminder that justice, while sometimes delayed, is never out of reach. It speaks to the resilience of families who refuse to give up, the dedication of those who seek truth, and the strength of communities that come together in the face of tragedy. As we close this chapter, remember that every cold case represents a family still searching, a story still waiting to be told. If you found this video meaningful, please share it with others who appreciate true crime stories. And let us know in the comments, what cold case do you think deserves more attention? Together, we keep these stories alive.